I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
So I'm an economist, right? Not by trade, but by accident, truthfully. And a number I want to throw at you is $1.6 trillion. And we're not talking the funny money we got now. We're talking real dollars. Back in the day, we're talking 1999. And the reason 1.6 stands out in my mind is back when you could almost rely on the information being provided on the then embryonic internet. They were estimating that the dot-com bubble, we had overinvested 1.6 trillion. So out of going from, I know the internet started with DARPA, 1969, I'm not talking that, but the build up in the 90s to the dot-com bubble, some economist or some researcher, some analysts have gone out and calculated the money that was spent on dot-coms. Not on the stock prices, mind you, just like, oh, the servers and this and that and the building and the rent and the labor and all that. And the figure they came up with was 1.6 trillion. That's what I remember. Now, adjusted for inflation after Obama, a little bit of Bush, I'll grant you that, a little bit, not totally. Go look at the M1 money supply. Obama definitely, Trump definitely, and Biden more recently. That is got to be around, it's got to be at least double, 3.2 trillion. Maybe more like 4 trillion. That, and again, not a Democrat, but that is an incredible pissing away of money. And to kind of show you where it grinds my gears, it's a burr in my saddle, it's a grain of sand in my hoo-ha. What could we do with $4 trillion today? All right, 4 trillion. Not for charity at all, but wouldn't that would bail out the student loan problem, right? 4 trillion, boy, we could really start shoring up a lot of things infrastructure wise. We could solve the water problem of America's Southwest. If you don't know, Phoenix, Flagstaff, Vegas, California, they ain't got enough water. We could set up the desalination plants, pump that water into the interior. We could, oh God, you could send, what is that? 8 years of kids through fully paid college, which I wouldn't recommend doing because 85% of it would be wasted. That's $4 trillion. And you know what it was wasted on back then, back in the 90s? Even though you guys, many of you weren't around or you're too young to remember, it would be like pissing away $4 trillion on, more modernly, those girls who did the day in the life of working at Meta. Oh my goodness. And so I got coffee and I woke up and I down there below my pants and then I painted my toenails and oh my God. And there's Brandon and Bray is just so funny. He's the class clown and I'm going to sit on a hammock. That's what $4 trillion was pissed away on back then. And I haven't seen any money or figures or data or statistics, how much we pissed away on what I call .com 2.0 or big tech with the low interest rates to have such bullshit recreated today where you have, what's a girl's name? What's a millennial girl's name? It's not Becky. That's squarely my generation. And Karen is boomers. Whatever the millennial girls' names are. There were equivalently, I'd have to say trillions of dollars pissed away. And that angers me as an economist because holy cow, we could have something as mundane as paying off the debt or lowering the debt. Something as boring as get our roads up and running, get our roads better. Shore up some pension funds of some old people who actually happen to work, not boomers. World War II, whatever few people remained after that. Well, here we go again. And just like in the 90s with .com, we're going to put an E or an I in front of our business name, and now we're an internet company. Yeah. Just like the housing, real estate developer, bro. Now the buzzword is AI. I want you, please, will you young people listen to me? The people don't listen, for once, don't listen to anyone over 30. Your business leaders, all they know how to do is parrot phrases and new terms and buzzwords. That's all it was. It was synergies and leverage and AI and DEI. It's AI now. Now it's AI. So this was on the Wall Street Journal, and I'm not going to pay them. Sorry, it's just all of you should just close. This is from Fierce Network. Is Google investing too much in data centers for AI? Its CEO doesn't think so. Alphabet, Google, revenue was up 14% year on year, and profit jumped nearly 29%. CapEx, primarily focused on servers and data centers, nearly doubled as the company works to build out AI infrastructure. How's that AI working? Is it working well? I think the only thing, we're going to get into how many billions of dollars has been spent on this by various companies. I can make some pretty cool thumbnails. I can make some thumbnails. You don't understand. You see, it's going to replace everything. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It really is not. It's just going to replace people who should have been fired anyway, especially in the creative department. What has it done? This has not, the money you have spent on this has not. Oh, you don't understand. See, we're investing with a 20-year outlook. No, it's not. No. And for all you youngins, we can finally there's this group of people who've been hanging on for 10 years. They've been hanging, AI's just going to take all of our jobs. So I need UBI so I could sit here with my gunt and play video games and do pot. You guys keep holding out for that. It's, dude, you could have been a truck driver by now making at least 120. You could have been. But AI is, what are you gonna is when you're 73 years old and you're just the boomer version 2.0, AI is gonna take all the jobs. And you just have had this existence of living on EBT, putting chicken tendies under your armpit. Nearly doubled as company works to build out AI infrastructure. Executives said they're not worried about the possibility that they could end up building more compute than is needed. More compute than is needed? I would worry about AI taking the journalist jobs away. Yes, building more compute than is needed. Google parent Alphabet posted another monster quarter, once again reporting double-digit increases in revenues and profit in Q2. But analysts were quick to notice one other standout figure: capital expenditures. The company nearly doubled its CapEx year on year, increasing from $6.9 billion. Okay, that makes sense if you're making money, to $13.2 billion in a recent quarter. Quarter. 1 quarter of a year. CFO Ruth Porat attributed the increase to spending on servers and data centers, but the dramatic jump left analysts wondering how much is too much. Asked explicitly in the company's earnings call whether executives were worried they might end up building a little too much compute capacity. Computing capacity? Did we just hijack this word in the IT world? Ha ha ha! You commoners didn't know we jacked it from computing to compute capacity. Is that what you did in the IT journalism industry? Is that what you savvy, cool hipster kids did with your glasses? CEO Sundar Pichai said no. When we go through a curve like this, the risk of underinvesting is dramatically greater than the risk of overinvesting for us here, even in scenarios where if it turns out that we are overinvesting. Well, no, if it turned out you overinvested, you lost all that money. 49 billion is the number I've seen in this 1 year alone. 49 billion. Again, what could that have gone to train people how to build houses? The amount now, you guys don't know this, but if you go back the dot-com version 2.0 bubble, they were investing like Amazon took 20 odd years to become profitable. And they all point, look, see how long is it? You see, these technologies take decades. They take decades. Well, here's my question. All right. One, how many Amazons are there where it actually pays off in the end? And then two, okay, fine. Let's say you finally get your money back. You invest 49 billion in AI so you can make Black George Washington. All right. And then you finally get AI to stop being racist, Marxist, woke, Kuwanta-ha-has. And all right, it'll work for normal people. Okay, now we made 50.1 billion. So there's your 2% rate of return. Do you think there might be better investments to be making in the United States? Now, I understand this is Google's money. It's the shareholders' money. They borrowed it, raised it, and saved it, however it is. That's their money, and they can do with it. I ask from an academic or theoretical standpoint, holy cow, how much are we pissing? Same question I would have about cars. Why do you American idiots piss away all your money on cars? You do know if you just got a used car and learn to fix it yourself a little bit, all right? I'm not saying you could fix it totally all the time. That you would save up in my book, Poor Richard's Retirement. You would save up 3/4 of a retirement. You just took the savings and threw it into an S&P 500 index. It it's kind of the same thing here. If Americans in general, whether at the corporate level or the individual level, became more discerning and discriminating with where they invested their money, we'd have the fruits of rates of return. You would have the economic growth. You would have higher standards of living. And I get real worried when I start hearing buzzwords. I get real worried when I start hearing things like price to sales, or we're doing loan to values of 125%, which you don't have to understand it when it doesn't make any more sense. Where it at the end of the day, it always is. It always is show me the money. What's the profit? And when they start saying, well, you don't understand, profit really isn't that important. And now the hair on the back of my neck goes up. And when you have this kind of eerie statement, when we go through a curve like this, the risk of underinvesting is dramatically greater than risk of overinvesting for us here. Okay. Even this is the one that concerns me. Even in scenarios where it turns out that we are overinvesting. No, that concerns me. Not my money. I don't invest in Google directly anyway. These are infrastructure which are widely useful for us, he explained. He continued, they have long, useful lives, and we can apply it across, and we can work through that. But I think not investing to be at the front here, I think definitely has much more significant downside. Now, in defense of the CEO, I forget his name, he's being asked a question live. He doesn't have a scripted answer, so don't say he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's answering this live, so please understand that. Parat added that the company expects CapEx to be at or above $12 billion throughout 2024. New Street Research analyst said in a research note that Alphabet's decision to spend big makes a lot of sense given one, the company's leading custom silicon through TPUs, which are the most GPU competitive custom silicon available today because microchips. And two, Google's ability to directly monetize the investment through public-facing cloud services while simultaneously benefiting from the direct impact on its core consumer business, including AIOs and Gemini. You're bringing up Gemini is the AI that Google has created. Gemini Advanced, Google One AI Premium. Oh, is it slightly less racist and sexist than the other? The original Gemini? Gemini Advanced. If you just toned it, it was up to 15. We turned it down to 13 now. Milestone metrics. Consolidated revenue increased 14% year on year to $84.7 billion. Consolidated revenue increased $84.7 billion, while net income jumped nearly 29% to $23.6 billion. Some people are saying Google has razor thin margins. That's just not true. Google is a very profitable company. Google Cloud hit milestones of both revenue and operating income, crossing the 10 billion and 1 billion marks respectively. Cloud revenue rose from 8 billion to 10.3 billion, with operating income hitting a total of nearly 1.2 billion. Okay, so here's a quote that's germane. Though Alphabet didn't break out artificial intelligence revenue, Pichai said that year to date, the company's AI infrastructure and generative AI products already generated billions in revenue are being used by more than 2 million developers. Okay, I really want to know. I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong. But man, it's starting to get to be that put up or shut up time. Remember how truck drivers would go, Alex Patino, a truck driver, do you remember when you were told 5, maybe even 7 years ago, oh, you're going to be replaced? There's a lot of promises. Oh, we could do this. The robots will control everything, and we could just all sit drinking margarita. We'll finally get the robots to produce everything. Unlimited wealth until you all breed it. Don't forget that. Shut up, you, Mr. Debbie Downer, with your facts and your reasoning. You're the first to go into the camps because you're not a believer in the unlimited economic production of AI. Where was I going with that AI? Oh, all I got is easier thumbnails. Really? And then you got I'm not slamming on these people. I'm describing them. You have truly stupid, inferior talent people in the creative industry worried about AI replacing them in terms of writing and creating, like journalists and writers in Hollywood or like if you're that bad at writing, you can be replaced by AI. Get the fuck out of here. You weren't contributing to the economy anyway. But aside from that, lowbrow, this is you told me this is like watching a kid. All right, the kid was born 7 years ago. It's now a 7-year-old kid. You're like, this kid's it's the second coming of Christ. He'll run the world. He'll run the world. And I'm looking at the kid. I'm like, all right, it's still shitting its pants. It still cries. It barely speaks English. And okay, it makes its bed. I'll grant you that. The 7-year-old makes a really good bed. That's great. I don't see him running the country. I don't see him running a lemonade stand right now. He can draw a Black George Washington, though. That's pretty good. I'll grant it. And he hates white people and males. That's pretty good. I mean, that you've trained it very well. I can see that very obviously. But I don't see it taking over the world. This is it. What also concerns me is just the blind faith that technology, like we can finally have them replace human beings to do our thinking for us. I'm like, that's not good. What are humans going to do? Well, it still lacks the scale. Oh, Pichai added Google Cloud is innovating at every layer of the AI stack, including everything from chips to agents. While it lacks the scale of AWS and Azure, still, we think proprietary infrastructure like TPUs are okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of that means. So then here's another one from The Byte, which is just a website full of pop-ups. Microsoft is losing a staggering amount of money on AI. AI remains an astronomical money pit. Microsoft has spent a staggering amount of money on AI, and serious profits likely remain many years out if they're ever realized. The tech giant revealed that during the quarter ending in June, it spent an astonishing $19 billion a quarter. It's $80 billion a year. So now we're over $100 billion, $120 billion between just these two companies alone. Do you see where I'm like, dude, do you know what we could do? How many tradesmen we could train? I mean, how much housing, if you want to be how much housing we could build for the poor. Oh, the poor, they're so much better than everybody else because they're poor. Do you know how many antidepressant drugs we could buy liberal white women? They could be so doped up, they might actually smile for 3 seconds. I think that's worth $120 billion. Listen to me. Congressman, lend me your ears. I think there should be a bill called Make Liberal White Women Smile Act. All right. We don't spend money on AI, and we buy so much drugs, so much antidepressant drugs that all the liberal white women over the age of 40, they would crack the permanent resting bitch face. You could call it the anti-permanent resting bitch face act. And then for a brief 3 seconds, all liberal white women would smile. And then they go back to being pissed off at their lives. Because they weren't getting enough Richard. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Richard, my friend Richard, great guy. All girls should, they're pining for my friend Richard. That's what I'm saying. That's what were you thinking? I can't say it. I can't say it. Okay. The watered down version. Without Richard, with Richard. There. Okay. I didn't put myself in the position. It's not my fault. They put themselves there. Imagine the life of this. That's their life. That's their life. Here's 120 billion. All right, yay, we made progress. If it just makes one liberal white woman smile, it was worth it. Oh, okay. Back to pissing away money. Unsurprisingly, most of the 19 billion was related to AI, and roughly half of it used building out and leasing data centers. Major tech companies are investing heavily to capitalize on the current hype surrounding generative AI. So here's a question I have for you aspiring IT people. Okay, I'm not an IT guy, but if they're investing this much in hardware, shouldn't there be a little bit of research into people who just can set up servers? I'm talking plugging it in, stacks and racks. Um, not the programming, I guess. And the costs are racking up with specialized chips and huge amounts of electricity, straining budgets across the tech world. Huge amount. Oh, I thought we were going to do this. What about the environment? AI environment. Oh, yeah, fuck the environment. This is the cool new edgy thing. And I'm a corporate leader with an MBA, and I got to say cool new edgy things. Okay. Oh, nuclear power would solve so many problems. Straining budgets across the tech world. Microsoft still has enough money in the bank despite having spent a record amount last quarter, totaling 36.8 billion in cloud revenue alone and a record 109 billion total in operating income. Nonetheless, whether the 19 billion and far more that will surely chase it will ever be recouped remains to be seen. Despite the astronomical cost, Microsoft and its peers have yet to see any significant amounts of revenue from AI worthy of disclosure in financial earnings, meaning they're currently losing a staggering amount of money in tech, burning cash. All tech giants have been adamant that AI is a long game. Analysts are becoming increasingly wary of the losses. Last week, the information reported that OpenAI could end up losing $5 billion this year alone. So I did not know there's actually a company that just does AI called OpenAI. And it's just this money pit. It's never, and the CEO was even honest about it. He wasn't lying or nothing. Like, oh yeah, we'll be profitable in 2 years. No, he was just like, yeah, this is we're not going to make no money. Can we tell you? Fuck housing, fuck young people, fuck roads and water. No, nudie pics with AI. Here's a couple more billion. And could run out of cash in the next 12 months without any other major dipshits. I'm sorry, without any other major cash injections from dipshits. Despite its expensive price tag, the technology is nowhere near it needs to be in order to be useful. Goldman Sachs most senior stock analyst Jim Cavell. Jim, whoa. Jim of Goldman Sachs. I don't know him personally. Isn't Goldman Sachs just supposed to toe the line? Aren't you all in that caterpillar of humans sucking each other's dick? When were you allowed to have an opinion, Jim? How dare you say there's a housing bubble? What? You are not a team player. You will be shot for having an opinion outside what is acceptable. Somebody go and hunt down Jim. He is opening his mouth. Arguing a report last month. Google has similarly had to reassure investors with CEO Sundar Pichai saying that the company was at this early stage of what I view as a very transformative era during the company's earnings call last week. Much like Microsoft, Google has rapidly ramped up spending on AI infrastructure in the first half of this year and is expected to spend $49 billion in capital expense. Oh, there's the $49 billion. They just prorated the months by the end of next year. For his part, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella asserted during this week's earnings call that the company was justified in spending the eye-searing $19 billion, arguing the company had a demand signal. There's those demand. I got a demand signal. No. We need Robert De Niro. Where's my fucking money? The street doesn't have a lot of patience. All right, here. Oh, funny. That's hilarious. Synovus Trust Senior Portfolio Manager Daniel Morgan told Reuters. All right, Dan, I remember in the day that the market had tremendous patience with .coms. That was at least 2 full solid years of no earnings. Well, just wait her out a little bit. This latest .com 2.0, well, you don't understand. See, it'll cost. Then profit after 5 years. Oh, shit, interest rates went up. Diversity, AI, equity, jizz fizzle. Somebody in the position should get corporate exec. Jizz fizzle. That's our newest strategy. Oh, you're not on the Jizz Fizzle Quarterly magazine. Well, I have a degree from Wharton, and I studied Jizz Fizzle for my MBA. Street doesn't have a lot of patience. It most certainly has in my lifetime. The .com bubble and the housing bubble. You saw that in The Big Short, where the data was coming in that the mortgages weren't being paid back, and the prices still went up. They see you spending billions of dollars. They want to see a pickup in revenue of that amount. Maybe there's a whole new set of financial analysts out there who might have reason and sanity. You're right. The guy's not wrong. Neither is the Cavello guy from Goldman Sachs. You're right. You should expect some money on rate of return. I'm kind of wondering, where was this 15, 20, 30 years ago? Come on, do the jizz fizzle dance. Price to sales. Come on now. 125 loan to value. Let's go. Housing always goes up. Don't understand. 20-year investment horizon. Let's go now. Jizz fizzle. Do the dance. What are you guys doing talking sense and reason, expecting rates of return and your money back? What the fuck? What country do you think this is, sir? We got $120 billion anti-permanent resting bitch face act in Congress in front of them right now. They would. The government would spend $120 billion just to get every liberal white woman above the age of 40 like that. They would. Look at the progress. If it gets just one woman to smile for 3 seconds. Oh, there you go. There's where your money's going. Again, not a socialist, not a Democrat. Holy cow, could we be doing something else with this? Look, do you really, I guess where the hypocrisy would come in, look, you corporations are all like, oh my God, the environment and green footprint and ESG and environmental and responsible corporatism. Well, yeah, Belinda Gates, or whatever her new name is now, she took her funds and now she's going to fund more women and this. Oh, fuck off with that tired horse shit already. Why not? Hey, I got 12 billion and it's not going to make that big of a dent, but it'll make a little bit of a dent. And if the rest of us gals who divorced the men who made all the money were to take our portfolios that we just got and contribute half of it, we actually might be able to make tangible benefits. Lower debts for whatever. Build housing. No, I want to have cocktail parties and I'm helping women while drinking champagne at the Help Women Gala, where 2 cents out of every dollar actually goes into the hands of women, but 98 cents per dollar goes to us having parties. I think just a good used car program, that would help out young people. Look, you could spend $12 billion on initiatives to help with, or you could buy a lot of people used cars. But then I don't get to be in the yacht. Yes, I know, Melinda, you don't get to do that. You'd actually have to help people instead of bathe in the attention that you're trying or acting like you are. Oh, let's go to the super chats. JJJS2 Canadians. I am so smart. SMRT. That was when the Simpsons were good. Generation Apollo, $5. Smartphone was the only real society. Yes, it really was. I mean, now the internet did change things with the smartphone. Yes, invention of the last 20 years. Now it's commoditized. AI, blockchain, etc. Just attempts by tech industry to recapture lightning in a bottle again. There might be this. I think a lot of it is ego as well. Not in a evil sense, but it, large corporate leaders are driven, I would say, primarily by ego because they already got their money. And you just can't take a company like, well, you saw it with Bud Light and uh, Procter and Gamble with the Gillette ad. They just can't accept the fact that businesses go through cycles. There's the boom era where a new technology or product is created and it's growing and everything's great and it's edgy and it's fun. But then there's also the maturing period. Gillette is a razor and shaving cream that you should never buy that Procter and Gamble owns because they hate men. Truth. Go look it up. Go look it up. But that wasn't good enough. They had to be edgy and they came out with the best men can be. Wait, dude, it's razors. It's not supposed to be exciting. But the ego of whoever was in charge of Procter and Gamble at that time, they couldn't just do it. Same thing with Bud Light. Look, you got a dying or stagnating brand. If it was me, I'd say bring back hot chicks with big boobs. All right, if you want to be edgy, but we can't do that because the guy who was in charge was a 38-year-old Karen. And I know, let's bring in a transsexual, whoever Mulvaney was, Dilvaney. It's edgy. No, you're not supposed to be edgy. You're supposed to be a piss water beer. You're supposed to be for poor people who watch sports ball. Get in the game. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Just accept it. It's like old ladies trying to be hot still. Like, just age with grace. All right, that's not you. You can't do it. I think a lot of this is where we got to be on AI. We got to do the edgy thing. I already got the money. Fuck it if we lose literally billions of dollars of shareholder money. We got to do DEI. I'm the new. I'm popular. I'm edgy. No one ever leaves middle school. No one ever. I don't care how rich you're. I don't care if you're CEO. No one ever leaves middle school. It seems. And then you got some commonsensical. I'm like, okay, all right. It's your money, but wouldn't it really help if you created a tech school or training programs? Wouldn't it really help if you never mind. No, I know. You all have to have your parties and your champagne. You all Hermos, $5. I've always liked cars and wouldn't mind having a nice one, but I prefer to invest in my freedom. I'd rather buy Bitcoin or put more money in my 401k. Right. I don't buy cars. I buy transportation. I still think I'm under the $50,000 limit for purchases of all cars in my life. And I'm an older motherfucker. You need transportation. You don't need a fancy car, guys. Hat and clogs, $2. Yep, you got to spend money to make it. Kristoff Anan, $2. AI is good for doing Netflix originals. Yes, exactly. A talentless, nothing that nobody's going to watch. Here's a good rule or a good question. Do you have any value of it as a human being if you can be replaced by AI? I mean, in a literal economic sense, the answer is no, right? So you must go get another skill of economic value to provide something to society. I'm not talking that. I'm more, look, if you are so boring that you could be replaced by AI, or you're so talentless, or maybe you have talent, you're just lazy, ain't going to put the effort in. If you could be replaced with AI, are you even of any value in any way to anyone else in this society? Like, I'm not kidding. Hear me out. What percent, okay, let me make very clear so I understand my point. What percent of girls in their 20s, the conversation part of if they go on a date, what percent of girls in their 20s, their conversation could be replaced with AI on a date? Like 20 something girl dating AI, where you could interact with a bot or AI on the internet or whatever, or you could put it into a shell, a Stepford housewife, and sit it right across from you. What percent of 20 something girls could their conversation part of the date could be replaced by AI? Damn near 80%. Because it's the same damn thing. It's not original. It's the same thing with journalism. It's the same thing with movies or Netflix. Your writers are talentless. There's not a core to you. You can be replaced. Aliens come in and they try to take over the world. But then, of course, with modern day AI, black, quadriplegic, lesbian girl comes up is the girl who's the key to everything and fights and finds out the alien invasion is an evil white male guy Republicans conspiracy. Really? I pull that out of my ass, and it's probably better than most of what's coming out of Hollywood. If you could be replaced by something as low or not intelligent, artificial intelligence, well, what good are you to society? And then, "Oh, but I advocate for more free shit to be popular." Right, yeah, okay, just like you were programmed, just like an AI would be. It's shocking what percent of Americans, I would say, and Westerners in general, could be replaced by AI in terms of not even necessarily work, though, but human value. Generation Apollo, $5. Fox Business reported bosses admit return to office mandates were meant to make staff quit, not about productivities. Boomer bosses strike again. Okay. We got a lot. Fox Business. Turn to work. To fire, admit. Let me see if I can find it. Boom. Got it. I'll do that next. There's a lot of news to cover today. I'm not really trying to do a news channel. It's just I love I look. There was a time most Americans didn't lie to their fellow Americans, including their children. All we do is lie to each other now. You wonder why there's no core, why no one wants to stand up for the United States, because Americans keep lying to each other. Everyone's trying to fuck over everyone else. Well, fuck you. Let me know how this country works doing that. Not sure. $2. George Carlin was right about everything. I never watched him much. Never watched him much. He was right, though. I just assume everyone's an asshole and out to get you, and you're right. Kristoff Anan, $5. Those who shorted tech and later real estate are all freaking rich now. Short AI, short the US dollar. I do not recommend any investment advice. That's just Kristoff's advice. JJJS to Canadian. Thoughts on man versus woman boxing. Is this real? Well, it is real. You saw it. Okay. I would also say the vast majority of women globally, certainly in the Western world, voted for it. I'm very curious how the Olympic Committee or however they figured that was okay. I am if I gave a shit about humans, I'd say it's wrong. Stop doing that. But the fact that women voted this in emphatically, whether they realized they were doing that or not, I don't care. I am enjoying it. I feel bad for the girls, the few girls who are athletes who busted their ass off and are conservative and didn't vote for it. I understand. I feel bad for them. But I'm going to guess with all the bloody murder, curdling screams. Remember the soccer? Women's soccer makes a fraction of the money men's soccer do. Then they wonder why they're not paid as much as men. Was because you're the team or the industry, your guild, it doesn't bring in as much advertising revenue. That's why. It's nothing. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just going to assume most female athletes are leftists. And you vote Democrat or socialism or labor or whatever, you voted for it. I don't give a shit. And matter of fact, it's funny. We're all drinking your tears. Uh, yeah, I did feel bad. I think, what was she? Was she from Mexico? The gal who was in there? Yeah, obviously I was cheering her on. Feel very bad for, and all these gals, they spend all their youth trying to be the best whatever pole vaulter in their life, and here comes a guy. You girls, this is just the beginning. Just the beginning of not only the economic nightmare that is coming, but the mental nightmare. Men beating the crap out of women, sanctioned by the Olympics. And all you, oh, vote Kamala. You go, Camelot. Oh my God. That'll break the PBR, BBR, middle-aged white woman, liberal gal face. Not sure, $2. If AI replaces everyone, people might go outside again. No, I think to become even a slightly interesting human, or a human of any worth to anyone else, you must suffer and go through some kind of pain or galvanizing. You must go through a struggle and accomplish. You must overcome. What that is depends. But people, yeah, okay, they might go outside again, but they're not gonna. It's so depressing to see what nearly unlimited wealth, which is what capitalism has brought. We kind of, in a sense, nearly unlimited wealth. What it does to people, it turns you all into shit. Just worthless, boring pieces of shit. Unremarkable shit. Doesn't that describe most Americans? You're unremarkable shit. You're not hot. You're not fun. You're not intelligent. You're not unique. You don't think independently. You think the way you were told to think. You're all buying shit you don't need on debt. You're the most boring, unremarkable people ever. Go out and be social. Oh, with those, really? Cappy, why are you angry? All right, link below is it's just linked to all the general stuff. I got a link to my books, which are all predominantly financial books to get you. At least you can be wealthy or not poor. Let's put it that way. At least you cannot be poor, right? Ain't going to make people interesting, but at least you won't be starving. So there's my book. Same thing with the courses offered through Teachable. There's the link to my Amazon affiliate link if you want to do some Amazon shopping. Give yourself a little bit of a hit. Like, oh my God, I got value. I bought something. And then I'll link to my Subscribe Star channel if you want to have access to the Road Trip podcast. But that's a subscription service. That's $2 a month because I'm a snooty asshole. More on the way. See you guys later. Toodles.